a small, sleepy town tucked away from the world's chaos, lived a boy whose heart was filled with kindness deeper than most could understand. He was an ordinary child by all appearances, modest clothes, a quiet demeanor, and a gentle smile. But what set him apart was his unwavering compassion for those who had been forgotten, especially animals who had suffered or been abandoned. From a very young age, the boy found himself drawn to creatures that others overlooked. The stray cats wandering the alleys, the injured birds that had fallen from their nests, and most of all, dogs who had lost their way or their families. He often dreamt of having a dog to call his own, a loyal friend with whom he could share his days. But his family was small and poor, and pets were a luxury they could not afford. One day, an opportunity arrived when his uncle invited him to a local auction, a place where animals were sold to the highest bidder. It was a place the boy had never been before, and though he was excited, he had no idea that this day would change the course of his life forever. The auction was a noisy, bustling place, filled with people shouting prices, animals barking or bleating, and the constant shuffle of feet. There were large dogs with shiny coats and energetic puppies, but amid the lively chaos, tucked away in a neglected corner, was a sight that made the boy's heart stop. A dog, old and frail, stood trembling behind a rusted gate. His coat was patchy, his ribs visible under his sagging skin, and his eyes were clouded with years of pain and exhaustion. The auctioneer announced in a bored voice, "Next up, an elderly service dog, retired from duty and no longer in good health. Starting bid low." The crowd paid no attention. No one wanted an old dog that couldn't run or work. Most were interested in the young and strong, dogs that could perform, guard, or breed. This dog was invisible to them, but the boy saw something different. He saw the years of loyalty in the dog's eyes. He saw the dignity despite the dog's pain. He saw a soul crying out for one last chance. Quietly, the boy stepped forward. "I want to buy him," he said softly, barely above a whisper. The auctioneer scoffed. "A child wants to buy an old sick dog? Do you have the money?" The boy reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. Inside were every penny he had saved over many months. Birthday gifts, coins earned from chores, even a few crumpled bills. He had been saving for a bicycle, but now nothing else mattered. "This is all I have," he said. The auctioneer hesitated, but finally nodded. "Sold." No one cheered. No one applauded. But for the boy and the dog, the world had changed in an instant. He named the dog Buddy. From the moment Buddy stepped into the boy's small home, it was clear that healing would not be easy. Buddy was weak. His legs shook uncontrollably. His breathing was shallow, and his wounds, both seen and unseen, were numerous. Yet, the boy was determined. Each morning he woke before dawn to tend to Buddy, preparing special meals, giving medication, and gently massaging his aching joints. At night, he would sit beside Buddy's bed, telling him stories about the adventures they would have once Buddy grew stronger. He talked to him as if Buddy could understand every word, and somehow he did. As days turned into weeks, the bond between the boy and Buddy deepened in ways that words couldn't capture. There were quiet moments when the world seemed to stop. Just the two of them, sitting side by side. The boy would gently run his fingers through Buddy's thinning fur, feeling the slow rise and fall of his chest with each breath, and whisper stories of a future where Buddy was strong again. One evening, As twilight painted the sky in soft purples and pinks, Buddy lay resting his weary head on the boy's lap. The boy's fingers traced the faded scars along Buddy's neck, the marks of years of hard service. Tears welled up in the boy's eyes as he whispered, "You don't have to be strong for me. You just have to be here. You're enough, Buddy." Buddy lifted his tired eyes and looked into the boy's face. Those eyes, once clouded by pain, now sparkled with trust. In that gaze, the boy felt a silent promise, an unspoken thank you, and a love deeper than he had ever known. It was a love that didn't need words, only the quiet presence of two souls who had found each other. There were nights when Buddy whimpered softly, haunted by memories the boy couldn't see. He would nuzzle the boy's hand as if seeking comfort, and the boy would wrap his arms around him, whispering soothing words until Buddy's trembling eased. The boy wished he could take away all of Buddy's pain, the aches in his joints, the loneliness of abandonment, but all he could do was be there. One cold winter night, the boy stayed up long after everyone else had gone to sleep. He sat beside Buddy's bed, holding his paw gently in his hands, feeling the faint pulse that reminded him his friend was still fighting. The boy told Buddy about his dreams, the adventures they would have, the long walks in fields of wildflowers, the days of running free without pain. He promised that no matter what, Buddy would never be alone again. At that moment, Buddy gave a weak wag of his tail, a small gesture, but to the boy, it meant the world. It was as if Buddy was saying, "I believe you. I trust you." Weeks turned to months, and little by little, Buddy started to improve. His tail, which had been still for so long, began to wag at the boy's voice. His eyes grew brighter. His steps, though slow and careful, returned. Their bond deepened beyond words. Buddy was no longer just a dog or a pet. He was a teacher, teaching the boy about resilience, about unconditional love, and about the power of hope. The boy, in turn, was Buddy's protector, his voice, and the one who gave him a second chance at life. Word spread around the town about the boy and his old dog. People were amazed by Buddy's recovery and touched by the boy's devotion. Some came forward to help, donating food and supplies. Local newspapers picked up their story, sharing it far and wide. And through this, a ripple of kindness began to spread, a reminder that every life, no matter how old or frail, is precious. But time, as it always does, kept moving. Buddy grew older, and the boy watched as his friend's energy waned. The breaths became slower, the walks shorter, and the nights longer and quieter. Yet, the boy never lost hope. He made every moment count, taking Buddy to his favorite places, wrapping him in warmth, and filling his days with love and laughter. One peaceful evening, under the shade of a sprawling oak tree where they had spent countless hours together, Buddy lay his head on the boy's lap and closed his eyes for the last time. There was no fear, no pain, just the quiet peace of a life well loved. The boy buried Buddy beneath the oak, planting flowers and carving a small wooden plaque that read, "Buddy, my friend, my hero." Though heartbroken, the boy carried Buddy's spirit with him always. He continued to visit animal shelters, spreading the message of compassion and hope. He encouraged others to adopt older dogs to give them love and dignity in their final days. Buddy's story became a symbol, a beacon reminding everyone that love can heal the deepest wounds, and that sometimes saving a life saves your own. So, if this story touches your heart, Remember this: kindness doesn't require wealth or power. It only needs a willing heart. Look around you. There may be a buddy waiting for you. Old, tired, forgotten, but full of love. Will you be the one to see them? If this story moved you, please take a moment to hit the like button and share this video to inspire others. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a story that touches your soul. Thank you for being part of this community of kindness.